views from the friend zone. It's your time. We're giving you real talk, so stay on your grind. We just trying to laugh and have a good time. We dropping the juice so that all our people can shine. Views from the friend zone. It's your time. We're giving you real talk, so stay on your grind. We just trying to laugh and have a good time. We dropping the juice so that all our people can shine.
Yeah. Welcome to another edition of Views from the Friend Zone podcast. It's your boy Real Talk Marv. Happy Sunday, y'all. It's a good thing to have family back in the building. You know what I'm saying? How's everybody doing?
Can't complain.
Yo, Open Shirt Poppy here, y'all. What's up?
Yeah. Not to start off too political, but it's just like, yo, go out and vote. Next time we do this show, we already know
We got 2 weeks.
who's the president. You know what I'm saying?
2 more weeks.
2 more weeks.
I'm voting Libertarian.
I already voted, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's crazy though. It's crazy, like, you know, what's going on in the news, and it's like I'm not even, when Trump says something or do something, I'm not even shocked anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, and then when I hear the Trump supporters complain, I'm like, this was your mess. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna have everybody introduce yourself. It's your boy Real Talk Mall.
It's your boy Cliff Bogmanon.
Hi, I'm Alicia Harvey.
Yes.
Open Shirt Poppy. I guess I got ahead of it.
Yes.
What up, y'all?
Yeah, so Miss Harvey's been a guest when we was in the prior studio. You know what I'm saying? She launched a new business, so I wanted to have her come on, promote her business, show us. You know, we got some goodies on the table that shows to promote. So Miss Harvey, let us know what you got going on.
Okay, so during the pandemic, you know, everybody's home. I'm like,
Push the mic closer to you.
We have to do something. So I started an LLC, and I launched my first business venture, because there'll be several.
Yes.
And it's Sparkle Sisters Cosmetics.
Nice.
So they're all handmade products, mostly organic, natural, you know, things for everybody. They'll be, even though our name is Sparkle Sisters, I have to keep telling the men, I'm going to have products for you too that's not going to be full of glitter.
Okay. Because I was going to say Sparkle Sisters, I want to be like, somebody come up to me, yo, you smell good. Like, yeah, that's that Sparkle Sisters. And then they kind of look at me kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying? So.
Well, actually, our men's line is going to be called Bay
Okay.
by Sparkle Sisters.
Okay, that's cool. That's
and
cool.
like I said, we're not going to have you glittering, but you're going to be sparkling in different ways. I like to bring the magic to everybody.
Okay. So show them some of your products.
So I have some bath salts
Okay.
for those soaking, and even with these, like this blue one is a sore muscle one. So, you know, Mr. B, this would be good for you after them workouts.
The gyms, yeah.
Stuff like that. And I actually, when I was trying them out and having people to be like my focus group, it was people who were softball players.
Okay.
So, like, I gave it to people who I knew were going to be
Athletic and out and about, yeah.
I have body scrubs,
Okay.
salt scrubs, and sugar scrubs. And
Okay. What's the difference between the salt scrub and the sugar scrub? Obviously, besides the title.
Well, the sugar scrubs are made with different types of sugars and salts for the salt ones, and I feel like the salt scrubs are more exfoliating.
Okay.
The sugar scrubs are a little less exfoliating, and we're also going to have oatmeal scrubs for people who have sensitive skin.
Like eczema and stuff, because I know that's a big.
Eczema, psoriasis,
To
things
do
like that.
oatmeal scrubs when you have eczema, I heard that's really good.
And just with the sugar scrubs, more so for men who might be interested in purchasing for their girlfriends or wives.
Yeah.
Their skin will look amazing, feel
Will it
amazing,
make her taste amazing?
smell amazing, and
Taste amazing.
taste amazing.
That's what's important
This
to me.
one called the Glow, actually, it's the brown sugar vanilla.
Good. That's one
Good
of your
stuff.
favorites. That's your recommendation.
They all look.
Yes. the sugar.
And tell them about the lip gloss with the
Then
edible
we
gold and stuff like
Oh.
that. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
We have, this one is actually a lip oil.
Lip oils.
So it's extremely moisturizing. One of the things that when I went into this venture, because technically I could be purchasing these things from a vendor
Yeah.
and then reselling it,
Yeah.
but then I didn't have any control. So I'm very big on having moisture be put back in your body. Like nobody
Yeah.
wants dry lips, dry skin. So this oil is really moisturizing. Actually, I have to put one out. I have like sugar scrubs for your lips. So it takes the dead skin off, and then if you follow with one of these,
You're good to go.
kissable
Kissable
supple.
lips, right? And
But
suckle.
this
Okay,
one,
okay.
This one has rose petals and edible gold in it. And
Nice.
a variety of different oils. Most of all my products have vitamin E oil, which is great for your skin.
Yeah.
And it's geared towards people of color, but it works great for everybody.
Everyone, yes. And the name of the company again is?
It's Sparkle Sisters Cosmetics, and
So
it's
how-
SISTAS.
So how can they reach you? Like, give them your social platforms, your website.
Okay, so on Facebook, it's facebook.com/Sparkle Sisters LLC.
Okay.
And on Instagram, it is sparkle.sisters.llc.
Okay.
We can be found on Amazon, Sparkle Sisters. We can be found on Etsy. And I also have a website, and it's www.sparklesisters. Yes, it is. www.sparklesistersllc.com. And again, it's SISTAS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So, you know,
Thank you
that's
guys
nice.
so much for having me
Of
on.
course, you know, I saw
We'll be
it,
buying
and
some products.
then you know who also, even though I saw it myself, shout out to Farmer. Farmer sent me a message like, yo, look what she got going on. I was like, you know what, it'll be
you
good.
did?
Yes,
My
it'll be good. So
farming
shout out to
girl.
Farmer. It'll be good to, you know, have her on the guest and we always like to promote entrepreneurship and also women entrepreneurs as well. So, you know, I got a shout out to S. Revere Wines. They was our guest company last year. Now they're doing big things. They got their wines in stores. They've been on, I think it's the A&E Network, featuring their wines. Yeah. So it's good. You know, it's good to see women entrepreneurs. It's good to also see business people still trying to flourish during this hard times, right? I there was a couple of, you know, ventures that I wanted to start, and then the pandemic hit, and it was just like I had to take a step back and be like, you know what, I need cash reserves. I need to figure out what's going to go on next, you know. So many things have changed for everybody during this time, you know what I mean? So it's tough. So I commend you for that. You know. How's everybody else doing? How's everybody just...
Making do, still getting through this pandemic.
Uh-huh.
They talking about shutting down the city again.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but either way, I ain't gonna let that stop me. You
Yeah.
know, we gotta keep on pushing on. It's fall. I went for a nice bike ride today.
Yeah.
That was the first time in I don't know how long.
That's good though.
I haven't rode.
Yeah, it
I haven't
was
rode a
good.
bike in 10 years.
No, it felt like that.
I
for
mean,
me.
you know,
My
the
legs was
stationary
dragging.
bikes that you do in the gym,
Right.
but like
Nah,
an
this is
actual
out.
bike to get me somewhere, I haven't
Yeah,
in like 10 years.
I rode the bike to my sister's house.
Nice.
That's
and
good.
then back.
What about you, Cliff? How's everything going on?
I'm taking it one day at a time.
One day at a
That's
time.
it.
You know, it's crazy because I'm still baffled at how people are, you know, dating and getting to know people like during this pandemic time, right?
So,
Because it's just like, you know, a lot of times people are wearing masks. People are hesitant for people to get in your face. Someone you don't know approaches you and they don't got a mask on, you ready to fight. So how do you get hollered
Unless
at
they
during
look
this
good.
pandemic? You know what I'm
Unless they look
saying?
Good. Then you're like, okay.
Even so, if you thought New York girls were turning you down before, now during this pandemic, you coming up to them no mask and stuff like that, nobody got time for that. You know what I'm saying? So it made me also start thinking about when you're approaching a relationship, you know how pivotal it can be if you choose the wrong person. So we wanted to start off the show talking about choosing your future, how you should kind of approach picking the candidate for your life as seriously as you pick the president, right? Because, you know, there's ramifications when you pick the wrong person. How many people in here can attest when you had that terrible ex and you was like, yo, I made a bad choice. Sometimes it's the person selling you themselves in a way that, you know, beat you over the head. And sometimes it's like, yo, I saw certain things and I ignored it. You know what I'm saying? And we was talking about it right before, you know, the show started, just like how, as bad as Trump is, it was a lot of you guys who went and picked Trump. Trump didn't steal the election. Well, that can be debated, but a lot of people pick Trump and then look at the mess that we're in, right? And then the weird thing about it is a lot of people's going to choose Trump again, but that's a whole nother topic. But I'm just like, you know what? You got to choose your partner, like, you know, vote or die. You got to really be selective in who you let in your
You know
life.
what? I'm glad you explained that because I've been thinking about something. And like I said earlier, I'm going to vote Libertarian
Yeah.
because I'm not happy with either of these candidates, right?
I mean,
But the reason why Trump was able to win and why he's still able to get the votes and support that he's able to get is because he's different. He's different in that he don't do the regular political talk. Like, I expected Biden and Kamala to come out and speak real. Like, stuff is bad.
Yeah.
People want you to talk direct to them. They want real. They still speaking in political circles and covering their bases and trying to play this side and that side. Trump already said, I'm with this side. I'm going to speak for this side.
Yeah.
I don't care what else y'all want to hear. This is what I'm doing. And that's why I don't like. I said, y'all don't got a backbone. Biden got punked during that debate. And that's disgusting. But this is, hold on, I'm going to compare it to the relationship aspect, though, because we're talking about relationships.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my thing is, what happens is people choose some people because the level of choices they have is limited. So they'll settle for something that they know is not great.
That's what made me
You know
think
what I'm
about
saying?
relation selection and voting.
You know it's not good, but you're like, it's the best that I can get right now. You know what I'm saying?
What were you saying?
No, I was just
Like ladies out there, Ms. Harvey, you can speak to. Sometimes it's just like, it's like you kind of narrow down your selection, and it's just like, damn, both of these dudes got faults. Do I take the less of the evil kind of thing? Do I go with, like, you know what?
Instead of saying, let me wait and continue looking till I find what might be better for me, right? People be so eager to get in a relationship, especially cuffing season.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, yeah, he's kind of dirty, or, he don't brush his teeth. But he's nice to me.
Those are hard.
I don't know. I'm just
hard to
making up
swallow.
stuff.
You
You
don't
know
have
what I'm
any
saying?
else
He's
skills?
he's not a beater like my last boyfriend.
Yeah,
you're not punching me over the head.
And that's
So
the
it's
tough
like-
thing, right? Because I'm not going to sit there just to tie the correlation between, the voting and the choosing relationship. I'm not going to sit there and say I'm madly in love with Biden. But first of all, what Trump stands for, and then the work he put in he didn't do nothing that
He has
helped.
been the best president for the African American
In his
community
mind.
since Abraham Lincoln.
in his mind, right? So that's why
He says that.
I wanted
Makes
us.
me laugh.
That's what he is.
It makes me
That's why I
laugh.
wanted us to think about it. Like, you got to make that choice, and there's ramifications, right? Because you choose the wrong person and you have a kid with them, and now they stuck in your life. You know what I'm saying?
But I see that. I think that's one of the problems with choosing relationships, because now at the age that I am now, because I'm 47, I have 2 grown kids. I've been married. I've been to school. I've done all of these other things that now I can really sit back and be like, I don't want that, and I'm not going to accept it.
Yeah.
I don't want that, because I have no push. Like some of my younger friends, they don't have kids.
They never
So now-
experienced these things, so they
Right. So and their clock is ticking.
Their clock is
and-
ticking, yeah.
And since I've already done all this stuff, I can be choosy as I want to be, because
Yeah.
I don't have anything that's like.
Yeah. And you know what? You know yourself, right?
Yes.
I think a lot of
Better,
times
yes.
we don't really know ourselves. So that's why I always tell young people, like, I'm not telling you to go out there and be the best thot that you can be. I haven't said that in a while during the show. But you need to know what you like, right? Because a lot of times our experiences are so centered in just what's around us that you don't know what you like, right? It's sort of like saying, even taking it to a food kind of situation. I always tell people, like, you got to do a buffet before you set it down and say, this is my favorite meal of all time. A lot of times we just have these ideas, we create images of what someone should be. We're like, that looks close to what I want. And then you find out this person's a terrible person. They're selfish. They never cared about you. You was easy for them, so that's why you're together. And then it's sort of like, you find yourself with someone for years and you're just like, what do we really have in common? Now the only thing we have in common is history, because we've been together for so long. We don't know each other, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we don't do research about the people that we choose to date. They look good. You hear the sex is good, and then you're like, you know what? I'm comfortable. But you know what I'm saying? You don't know how that person's going to be a mother, how that person's going to be a wife. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of things that go to it. So choosing your future. How do you choose your partner so you don't get a Trump when you wanted an Obama? You know what I'm saying? So, ladies first, how do you
I think you said the most important thing is you have to know yourself.
yeah.
Because the person I know now is Alicia. 20 years ago, absolutely a totally different person.
Yeah.
I've grown, I've learned my likes and dislikes, and that to me is most important.
Yeah.
And of course, when you meet somebody, all that good, he's fine, he's this, and the sex is great. Yeah, that's nice, but that's the person's representative anyway.
Yeah.
So you have to look past the representative to see he's really nice, but it really bugs me that he does not close the drawer when he takes his sock out, and
Yeah.
I don't want to live with that for the rest of my life. It sounds little, but it drives
That
me
sounds
crazy.
little as hell, but
I mean, that's just an example, but
if it's what
it's
you,
like-
what bothers you, it's
Yeah.
what
well,
bothers you.
that really does bother me. But it's like we don't take the opportunity to get to know past the representative.
Yeah, and you know it's cool. You know it's the coolest thing if someone's been in a relationship during the pandemic. This pandemic has aged relationship by years.
Yes.
By years. I don't know. You know, you're married. I'm married. We're in that situation, but it's just like the constantly being around each other, not really going outside like that, not having places to go, just
I'm happy
looking at
I
each
wasn't
other.
in no relationship.
And then you know watching bad stuff just happen outside, people dying. Like it was crazy during March, and we're a couple months out, so you can think about during March and April. So many people that you know, friends of friends died. It was crazy to me. It was sort of like, yo, that person died. I just was with this person. They died. Their moms died. Their pops died. Their brother died. It was so crazy. And then our administration was making it seem like it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. But it's just sort of like if you remember, New York was like the epicenter for a while, right? Yeah. It was like people were dying. You know, professionals were crying because they're like, yo, they're going in dealing with a patient. They're dying. The next day, someone coming in. And it's just like, yo, this year, if you've been in a relationship, it aged your relationship so much. If you and your bae survived this pandemic and y'all still good, y'all might be solid. Or he might needed a place to stay and said, yo, let me lay low. You know what I'm saying? That might be there too. So what do you think about that? How do you not choose a Trump and get you an Obama when it comes to picking that future candidate for your life?
Well, November 3rd, you have to vote, right? By
Yeah.
November 3rd, that's the day. You have to vote by November 3rd.
Yeah.
You do not have a time frame or a limit on your relationship. There's no date in which you have to choose a spouse by. It's not, oh, it's getting cold out. People aren't going to be outside anymore. Listen, you take your time.
Mm-hmm.
You take your time. You figure out what's right for you. Maybe you can't deal with somebody who don't know how to close the drawer.
Yeah.
Then don't settle for it. Stop settling for stuff. Find out what you like, what's good for you, and then you'll find out who's good for you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You
As
just gotta be patient.
You're a divorcee, and I don't want to say you're habitually.
Going to mom's therapy session.
No. I don't want to say you're habitually single, but you're like you're a person who really evaluates before you say I'm in a relationship. You really weigh the pros and the cons and stuff like that.
I do.
So, how long? Because we're all in this room, especially 35 and older. Like, how long do people in our age demographics wait till they decide? Right? Because if they're single now, they kind of been waiting for a while.
You don't have a time frame. What you do is, especially as you get older,
People
like
are
we
dying out here. I'm not
All
saying
right.
you rush into a relationship, but you got to have some kind of plan.
Well, just
What's
I
wrong with
mean,
dating? I feel
yeah.
like we don't date. It's like, I met you, oh, you're so nice. We go out for a pizza, and then he's my mate.
yeah, we boot up. Like, come on, let's date.
Yeah.
I'm gonna date this one. I'm gonna date that one.
Yeah.
I can date more than one person at a time
But
because I need to figure things out.
Yeah. What about
Hey,
you?
Clay.
I think the problem now is people focus so much on the age limit. Like, when it comes to men and women, when you get to a certain age, people just expect you. Like, they ask you, "Why you not
The
married?
clock.
Yeah.
Why you don't have no kids?" They start thinking that maybe it's me or whatever. So the next person they do stay, they rush into thinking I'm gonna make him my man. Hopefully we have kids. Hopefully we get married instead of just stepping back and really get to learn each other, regardless of the age. A lot of the times is people focus on, especially not to be sexist, but women when they get to a certain age, they want it. They could be in their mid-30s, like I need to have at least one kid, 2 kids, or whatever, to start my family.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to wait too late. It's too late to have kids, but. You can't base your relationship on that. You got to study the person and really get to know the person, regardless. Especially with times like this, you could easily rush a relationship and then realize you just wasted 5 more years of your life. Now you're 42. You went from 37 to
Even the
42.
good years that you
Yeah,
had,
so
Yeah.
biologically, it is a matter of time
Yeah.
with women.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? They do have, I guess, to think about things differently. because
when it comes to having a
biologically,
kid, with
comes to
having a kid,
if that's what they want,
you
right?
know,
But ultimately, you can't rush this. Like,
But I think we just also need to have these conversations about, real stuff. Like, it's weird, right? Because if you meet a woman, you go out on a date, and, certain men, when she starts talking about, wanting to get married, wanting to have kids and things of that nature, sometimes that forces some men to have a flight reaction, like, oh, she's trying to be too serious too fast. But at the same time, on the other hand, sometimes you're just like, oh, we're going to take it slow. And then a guy will say, well, I'm not looking for nothing serious. And you're like, okay, we'll just date for a while. And then he'll date you for 3 years and say, hey, I told you I wasn't looking for nothing serious, but we've been rocking for 3 years.
I'm going to be vulnerable here. I'm going to actually be vulnerable, which I usually am with the show, but this is more than usual. An issue that I have in finding the woman that I'm going to be with, right? Mm-hmm. I'll have a great chemistry, and we'll have great sex, right? So we'll be a great comparison sexually. But then the other side of it doesn't quite equate. It doesn't quite meet up to that level.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm not sure. I'm like, okay, we can enjoy each other sexually, but I'm not sure if you are up to the level that I want to make, you know what I mean, my girl or what have you. But every time we have sex, she's thinking more and more, oh, he wants to be my man.
Yeah.
It's that type of thing. So it's like, even though I could be telling you, like, I'm not ready to go there now, they don't hear
It's
none of that shit.
the age-old adage of, like, you can't.
I have that conversation all the time. Women, I know plenty of women, and they're not 18. They're totally grown women. And the scenario that he said is totally true. Oh, but we go out every week. We have sex all the time. I said, yeah, but you told him you wanted marriage. He told you he didn't want anything serious. And they think that the more sex we have is the more I'm going to change your mind.
Yeah.
No, listen to that.
On a total sidebar, on a total side note, the weird thing that I see with women, and when I talk to men, is just like, women will have the mentality of, okay, I'll do sexual things, I'll be exciting, I'll reel him in. Finally, he commits to the relationship. He's just like, this is good, I hope it. And then, for some reason, we'll pull the sex back and the freakiness and all that stuff like that once they're in the committed relationship, going to the long-term thing, and all of it. And it's just like, so, and then these same women will be shocked that he goes to cheat or the relationship stop working and things of that nature.
That's their way of tricking us, right? That's their way of tricking us. But let a dude, just go about the business of dating and sleeping with a woman, and then just being like, well, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. We was just doing it. Oh, how could you? You deceived me. That they see that as us tricking them.
Mm-hmm.
But not really. Now, if you was giving her false belief during that time, yes, that's wrong. A lot of guys do that. They'll tell them something just because they want to hear it. Listen, I don't even tell you I miss you if I don't really mean it.
But
Yeah,
you know what?
You code like that. You code like
It's not
that.
even
They be
that.
like, I miss you. I'll be like,
a lot
yeah,
of the
so
time,
today we
a
got
lot of the times, and a lot of times when it comes to relationships like that, men lead the women to something else, because if you having phone conversations with her for hours and doing stuff that says that you want to be in a relationship, just because guys will do that to lead up, because first of all, if he didn't have sex with the woman, he's gonna do whatever it takes to see what's going on, and then when the sex is good, you like, all right, I still want to keep her around, so you start doing boyfriend activity stuff with her, and then she's confused because now she thinks she's to you like, we just rock. To her, she's like, oh, that's my boo. To her girl, she's like, oh yeah, I'm going to see boo. Not even boyfriend, but to her, it's like we already in a relationship, whatever. We spend we spend hours on the phone together. We talk every day and stuff, whatever. And with me, I'm like, yo, we still rocking out. Like, what's going on? So the mixed messages. Sometimes women don't understand the mixed messages. Even sometimes men. Sometimes men will be like, oh, I can't believe you did this, whatever. So I think it's better off, especially with this year you having, and you're trying to get in a relationship. Just be honest, straight up.
Be honest.
Be honest.
Choose your partner on sustainable things. Like, I think, and I'm not Dr. Feeling you, I feel Mike is like, don't take this the wrong way. It's like
I'm already offended.
His love is like how a crackhead searches for that same high after the initial. He's always looking for that, and it's hard. They always say like, after your first high, there's never a high that equates to that. And I feel like a lot of times we chase for our loves to be this passion, fire that we had, and that we always think it's gonna be there. You have to fall in love with sustainable things.
But the thing is, too, you have to realize, now I'm going to give you mental health, too. You have to realize love has a journey. There's 4 kinds of love. And to actually be in a long-term relationship with someone and it's sustainable, the love changes.
Yeah.
What
Those
kinds?
people who have been, yes, I can't off the top of my head bring them to
Yeah.
you, but there are 4 kinds of love.
So we follow up. I gotta Google the 4 kinds of love, not love languages, but the 4 kinds of love.
Yeah, because it goes through stages.
Mhm.
And that first passionate, I see you, my heart's racing, all that fades.
Mhm.
But the sustainable
Especially when he
love-
don't close that drawer, forget
Yes,
about it.
We fighting.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
So, but no. But it's true. Like, you know how many times, like, I've been married 11 years, and the love has peaks and valleys, and it's just like there's been rough years where it's just like, yo, I don't think we're gonna make it, and then there's been times where it's just like, yo, I love the way this woman laughs. I love the fact that we're corny and we're on schedule to watch General Hospital together, right? I wasn't a soap opera person, but because it meant something to her, it became our stuff. So now we're laughing, giggling about the show, or I'm doing ghetto breakdowns of what just happened. I said that, so you have to, sustainable things is what's going to make your love last. Pick a partner not because the ass was so nice, you just like, damn. It got to be like, yo, we can sit there, laugh, and talk about anything. Or I know if I'm in a bad situation, I could call you. You're going to curse me out for putting myself in that bad situation, but we're going to get past that. I don't think we fall in love with sustainable things. I think we fall in love with journeys, pictures, like, you know, moments in time. You can't, your love is not going to be a moment in time. Like you said, it's going to be a journey. You know what I'm saying?
I do look for sustainable things. One of the things I look for is somebody. I need somebody. But nah, it's somebody who I can tolerate for a long period of time. Like somebody I can be around.
Tolerate's a tough
significant-
word to use.
Well, that's the appropriate word for me because I got to tolerate. I'm not gonna like you for a long period of time because I like my isolation. I like my
Independence.
solitude.
Yeah.
Yes, I like it very much. So if I find somebody who I don't mind them being around for a significant period of time, I know that's special. There's something special about them. They don't annoy me. I'm good with them here. You know what I mean? We could rock together, you know, because after a while I get annoyed with people, and I'll just be like, all right, I don't want to be around this person no more. So that's one of the things I'm looking for, somebody who I like to be around for a significant amount of time.
It's so strange that you said that because one of my close friends says stuff, and I always thought she was like some kind of unicorn. She said she'll
Same
get
thing.
married when she can find someone like her that she wants to be around, but would also be okay with having separate bedrooms because she needs her time
Mm.
to herself. And
That's
she
real.
knows she
I
could
could
not
do
be
that because
together with
my
her
wife
all the
gets
time.
on me because I fall asleep on the couch all the time, and she'll say, "Jump in the shower and come to bed." And sometimes I'm just like, it don't, not because I don't love her that much. I just get, you know, comfortable watching TV or relaxing and stuff like that. Sometimes I don't come to the bed. If we had separate bedrooms, I think it'd be controversial from the outside. Like, oh, they're the Lucy. Remember, I Love Lucy, like separate beds.
Yeah,
No,
but I didn't understand that before. I used to see it on a lot of the older shows.
Yeah.
You see, they were in the same room, but they'd have separate beds.
But that was TV standards.
Okay, well, either way, I now could appreciate something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I do want to lay up and cuddle with you, and then sometimes I just want you to get away.
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah.
I like to just
So,
sleep
look,
by
what do you
myself.
think is the recipe to choose the right person to spend your future with?
I mean, you definitely got to go into it understanding that, you know, they got to keep your mental right? 'Cause
What's your thing? Because we all got one thing that we absolutely need to be.
I need
somebody
my
to be with.
sanity. Like, I have to be able to, like I said, I do need my space. I don't want somebody smothering me or asking me too much questions, whatever. Because sometimes I need to just isolate and like you were saying. So I think it's just you just got to meet somebody that to give you a sanity, and then also respect your space. Respecting my space is when I have the conversation. Not just saying I'm trying to play you, but listen, I need to do this for myself, and another person with you, or whatever. Too. It's communication, though. In relationships is all about communication, because in relationships, everybody becomes an actor.
Yeah.
Everybody's become an Academy Award winner. Nobody's telling the truth. Oh, how is exactly gonna go? Then you're in a relationship, like, damn, this is what it is, and then you realize, then you love the person, you care about the person, so you try to adjust them, but you should see the signs early. So you gotta look at your relationship, and when you're trying to build a relationship, and stuff that you don't want to tolerate. And I think for 2020, you should put it out there immediately instead of waiting, because now you would waste ideal time. You wouldn't have to wait too long to say, you know what, I don't want to be in this situation. They can't handle it, you just move on.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
You said something that perfectly segues to the next question, which is, how do you get past the politician / representative the person you're dating shows you, right? Because, like you said, sometimes it's 30 days, sometimes it's 2 weeks, sometimes it's 90 days. But someone puts out their best foot forward, and it's not who they really are. So, like, how do you get past that, that layer or that representative? Like, these politicians, they have this campaign and this platform, and you're like, yo, that's my guy. And then you come to find out that was just a campaign. How do you get past the person you're trying to date campaign and find a real person and settle in?
You got to be more real. The realer you are with somebody, the more they're forced to then be real or show who they really are.
Yeah.
One way or another, you're going to find out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Cliff was saying, let's put it out there. What is it you want here? I'm not saying on the first date you got to say, well, listen, what's your credit score? Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I want. I want this many kids. That many kids. I plan on being married in 6 months. Are you okay? That's a bit much.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
But just be real about where you stand, things you might have been through and why they have formed you into this person that you are, and what you're looking for in a good, calm way, and express that to them. And to see their response. You know what I'm saying? Now, people always be tricky. Like you said, guys will say and do anything to get what they want. So they may lie to you.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do if somebody puts their politician on the front lines and lies to you.
Yeah.
But eventually it will show.
Yeah.
I feel like the fastest way to get to the root of who you're dealing with is to be more of who you are and not let your representative shine so bright.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
Just
like
be
that.
more who you are.
What about you, Ms. Harvey?
Well, I want to first piggyback off of something you said about, the questions. Definitely not on the first date. That's a little creepy.
Yeah.
But I don't think people do that at all.
Yeah.
They don't talk about credit. They don't talk about how many kids. I know people who are married and one partner wants kids and the other one doesn't. You can't compromise on children.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you can't we gonna have half a kid.
Yeah.
But for me,
So why do they stay together?
who said history? Did you say it?
Yeah,
'Cause
history.
They have the history now. So now what do I do now? We've
I'm
been
going to
married
be
for
bold
4
enough
years.
to say, at least, to me, 70% of the marriages, as strong of a number that is, 70% of the marriages in this country are still together because they have history.
Yeah.
Versus still loving each other and those kind of things. It's history and kids. Those are the two things that
Yeah.
keep people together. Because I
Some
feel like
people will
we
stay
get
out of
married.
Obligation.
Say
They
that
feel
again?
Like they out of obligation.
Yeah,
Some
the
people said,
history
I made
of
a
it.
promise before God, and I'm just gonna tough it out.
And not even just the history. A lot of times, people are just afraid to start over.
Yeah.
When you've been with somebody so long, and that's really, you just know that person, and you are maybe a little bit older. You like, I don't want to start over to learn somebody's new behaviors and new things, and know that he might be the same way. So you say, you know what, I might as well deal with this and try to make it better. And then sometimes in the long run, it doesn't work out that way.
I mean, even
so-
the landscape changes, right? When I got married and stuff like that, like eating ass wasn't this big old thing. But now it seems like people are spicy with this ass eating epidemic.
Yeah.
Mike is always uncomfortable when I talk about ass eating. No, but the game. But the game. I said that to be funny, but it's just like the game is different. I was dating in 2009. You know what I'm saying? Like, iPhones just came out in like 07 or something. When was the first iPhone? Like 07, right? Anyway,
Me neither, I'm angry.
I say that to say the landscape has changed. You've been with someone for 12 years, and now it's just like you got to learn somebody new and things of that nature. But at the same time, we can't let ourselves, like, life is so short. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have quality years. Another thing I always say is, like, yo, as a man, you got to keep yourself healthy. But after 35, your best bonus is in your past versus in your future and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to really think about who do you want to spend this energy, this emotion, this time, who you want to build with, who can affect your future. I think another thing we have to think about also is like, yo, I have goals. I have a future that I want to have. Who can best transition with me into that future? Our goals are in line. Like you said, some people want kids, some people don't, and they're together. And then some people think, you know what, if I wait long enough, they'll change their mind. No, that's a fundamental part of this person being.
Yeah.
But
There are
you know,
compromises with
you know
certain
what?
things.
The problem in relationship is we don't recognize the warning signs, right?
No, I
The
think
warnings-
they do
we
recognize
ignore
it.
them.
No, we don't recognize. We ignore it, but we don't recognize the warning signs because we basically we're still going to relationship knowing that this person was like that sometime because age could play a factor, or you know. We look at the public too much of basing how our relationship could go, right? Sometimes, like honestly, I'm married, but if me at 35, whatever, I'm not gonna look at a woman and just say, you know what, she's super bad, whatever. Too, she gotta bring my sanity, my mental health good, and other things. Because I'm gonna look at it bigger than that. Because a lot of times people in relationship because of looks, or because he looks good on my arm, or whatever. Too, or he has a great career. I can't date nobody that's working at McDonald's. He works at a bank. He makes $250,000. So I gotta stay with him. I can't downgrade or whatever. So, but the guy at McDonald's might be that solid guy that might be compatible to you. But a lot of times is we look at the outside world and then we base our relationship on that instead of just saying, you know what, I need somebody who knows exactly what I need to be in a good relationship.
I think
and outside outside audience sometimes base your relationship. You know, you won't know the family function, and then they know you dating this lawyer or doctor. You can't go from dating a lawyer to doctor to dating a manager at McDonald's because people are gonna look at you.
But I think a very simplistic thing we also need to think about is like, yo, put more stock and equity in the person that make you laugh, smile, and happy versus the person that make you come. Right? Because a lot of times the person that make you come makes you happy for this moment and stuff like that. But sometimes it comes with so much stress. How many women be like, oh, girl, he got that good D, but that man can't keep a job and he take money out my purse. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's extreme.
No,
That's
it's
extreme.
It's extreme,
Let me
but
tell you something
ask a
about
lot
those
of women.
moments, though. Those moments, man.
You see?
They will make you feel some like they'll get you through.
Yeah,
Right?
but get
Imagine
you through to
you-
what? To the
imagine
next
you
time
got
that they
that-
let you down?
Okay, but you got that one who can't give you those moments, and now y'all bickering and fighting, and you can't even have great makeup sex because he just ain't cutting it there neither. So you're like, why the hell am I with you? You know what I mean? And
I'm
then you
telling
end up
you.
cheating. Like
I'm telling you,
at least in those moments, you know,
Okay.
he make me
How-
sick, but he can
Yeah,
also
because
make me feel
we're
great.
dominating the conversation.
You know, go ahead. This is
It's all
women's
about-
perspective
yeah.
on this.
How do you get
How
past
about
that
those moments?
representative and like how do you pick that sustainable person?
Well, I don't think people can maintain the representative for long enough.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think people see the warning signs. We just ignore them. Oh, girl, he does this, but damn, he fine. No, he does this, and it's a problem. And if it's a problem today, it's gonna be a problem tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after, and it's indicative of something else that you really can't handle. I feel like I can only speak for women, but I think as women we just settle. He's giving me the attention. That's who it is. I'm going to take that. And I'm a proponent of telling people to write lists. People don't. They're like, oh, lists are superficial. No, you're just putting the wrong things on the list.
Yeah.
Because my number one thing is you have to make me laugh.
That's what my wife says.
I cannot be with someone who... I'm a sarcastic prick, but not in a mean way.
Yeah.
Mine is, I think I'm hilarious. I think I'm the funniest person I know.
Yeah.
But if you can't sit with me and we laugh about nothing and everything, then I don't want to be around you. But I didn't get to the point where I can say that until I got to this point in my life.
Yeah, it took a
Because
while.
now I know that without that, what are we gonna do?
Because someone that makes you laugh and smile can do that for the rest of your life.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Someone that, like I said, that can make you come or make you horny or make you excited, those things could fade. Sometimes someone's attitude is so nasty and ugly, no matter how bad they are, you can't see past that nastiness and that ugliness. You know what I'm saying? So then, yeah, she got a nice body, but it starts to be like, so what? I go on IG and there's a million girls who look like that.
They look the same.
So,
Yeah.
but why do I need? But you know what I'm saying? Like, don't get it twisted. I don't care how sexually inclined you are and stuff like that. Those moments could last an hour every day, but it's just an hour that day. What are you doing the other 23? How are you building towards something? Someone that make you laugh, someone that make you smile is just like, you know what? You could be going through the worst shit, but having a conversation with that person, mapping it out with that person, make you feel like, you know what? I still got breath in my body. We can work past this. We can move past this. And I think a lot of times we don't put equity in that. It's funny you said that. My wife said the number one thing that made her love me is I make her laugh all the time. And it's not that, I'm just this, Kevin Hart, Eddie Murphy type person, but I just know what to say to her. I know to notice certain things, and we laugh about it, kind of stuff like that. And we argue as well, but we just know, like, you know what? We're going to get past that. And I think a lot of times that's the history that you should kind of lean on, and not just because the person's been in your face for so long, or, you know what I'm saying? Because everyone said, like, you settle for this, and then you have this history, but it's just like, yeah, we've been together for 5 years, but it's been a bad 5 years. You know what I'm saying? There's more low moments than high moments, but yeah, you got 5 years in.
Or going back to what you were saying about the list, that's at the top of your list. You put something that you need, right? Because I think a lot of people, they always making these lists about what they don't want. Make a list about what you want.
Yeah.
And then I think it'll be easier to find a person. Because if they check those boxes of what you want, right, you can then work towards other things, because nobody's perfect. You run around here, I used to do that. Like, you run around here expecting to find a perfect person who does this, and this, and
They
makes
ain't
you
out
feel...
there.
Nah,
They
you know what I
ain't out
mean?
there, no.
And it definitely helped me see things more clear as far as who I'm willing to deal with by realizing we all have shortcomings. And at first I had to check myself, like, yo, what's your shortcomings? You know what I mean? Because you're not perfect. So somebody who's getting into a relationship with you going to have to deal with some things. And then you say, okay, well, I know what I'm coming up short in, and then I know what I'm willing to accept from someone else. So it's easier to work from there instead of working from a position of, I'm looking for the perfect 10 and this. I mean, come on, man.
So the last question on this topic, right? And it's about terms. Like, we know the president is 4 years, but there's always this joke that's floating around, like, your relationship should be like marriages should be like a driver license, like you got to renew it and stuff like that. I'm not completely against that, but another thing I think about is
it's time for your renewal, baby.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
Should you evaluate your relationship every year so you can decide if you should be together or not, or is history enough to stay? I think a lot of times we just let time be that deciding factor, and it's just like, yeah, like I just said, you can have a good 5 in, but it was a bad 5. It was a 5 where you fighting chicks over this dude, or vice versa, or she sneak texting dude, and like, yeah, we have 5 years, but it's been so. I think as mature adults, if you start dating someone, should you evaluate the relationship every year to be like, yo, are we progressing? Am I growing with this person, or am I just carrying or fighting to be in the relationship? What do you think?
I mean, every year suggestion is not a bad idea, because I honestly think every relationship, should go to therapy, right? To see exactly what it is, because a lot of times in relationship we hide exactly what we're unhappy about, right? Because even my relationship, I struggle every day. It's a tough battle for me, and I've been married for a couple of years, but every day it's tough for me because I sometimes I just don't know. So renewing, you said every year?
Yeah, just evaluating every year.
Evaluating relationship every year, I think it's a good thing.
Because we celebrate anniversaries and we make it a big deal every year to be like, oh, this celebration. But we should evaluate on that kind of, like, seriously evaluate it. Seriously, like, yo, are you happy? I think a lot of times once you're married, because the legalities of it is just like, yo, we've been married for a certain year. Like, look at Dr. Dre. He was about to lose so much money, but, you know, I don't know what the settlement is, but she lost because she wanted $2 million a month.
They worked it out.
She lost that
lost
battle.
it.
She's still going to get money. They're still trying to iron out the number, but she lost that
But
kind
no,
of
it's just like this. Marriages and relationship is not all about love, especially when you come together to make that union. It's two corporations coming together. We're making a merger, right? At your job,
it's true, though.
aren't
That's
you
true.
evaluated annually
Yeah,
to
yeah.
see whether you're going to get that bonus
Every
or whether your
every
ass
6
is going to
months
get
to a year.
terminated?
Yeah.
That's
Right?
true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I feel that is a great idea. Like you said, hey, honey, it's our anniversary. How are you feeling about things? What did I do this year that wasn't great? What can I do better? You know, what did I do that you loved? Right? What should I do more of? Stuff like that. That's just and y'all can have this over some drinks, go out to dinner, you know. Shit, when you've been with somebody for a while, you run out of things to talk about anyway.
Yeah.
So this is a great jumping point conversation to have to say, you know, I'm not feeling too good in this relationship.
Yeah.
I think we might want to try something else. It doesn't have to always be, well, are we going to stay together or are we going to end it? You know what I mean? It's just an evaluation to see where we are. And then if it's that bad, then it goes to the point, well, maybe
And we got to
should
use that time
move
to
on.
allow the person to know that you're grown in a different way. I think a lot of times we grow different. Our interests change. Maybe life's been hard to us, and now we have a different perspective, and we're afraid to communicate that to our partner, right? Because I once told my partner we were going to do this, and now I'm going down that journey, and I hit some potholes, or things have changed, and now I don't see myself doing that. But I made that promise that this is what I was going to do. And I think a lot of times we have this disconnect where we don't communicate that things have changed, and we're just sort of like, now one is hurt because the other person's just like, yo, but you said this. Like, yeah, but things have changed. You got to communicate that. And I just think every year you should have this conversation. This was what my goals was. This is how it's changed. This is how I'm changing that trajectory. How do you feel about that? Is this something that you could deal with? What do you want me to not change that I need to hold on to? And have that discussion. But it should be on a year basis, because how many crazy times I've seen people, they've been together for like 25, 30 years. Their kids are grown and now they're getting divorced. And it's just like, their commonality was getting the kids out the house or making sure their kids were successful.
They had one thing in common.
But once that was done,
strong enough to last.
now they're just like, yo, I got a couple of years left. I don't want to spend them with you. And that's like, damn, that
See, I don't know
hurts
how
to
I
hear
feel
that.
about that, because I do respect that, but I don't agree that's good for your mental health. You know what I'm
To
saying?
stay for the kids?
To stay for the kids.
I don't think
You
it's
know
good
what I'm
for the
saying?
kids all the time.
I mean, it depends.
Sometimes
Because
F them
Because-
kids. Nah.
no. But because not all situations is bad. Now, if we fighting and arguing and stuff, that's never good.
Right.
Don't stay together in that
That's
relationship
toxic.
for the kids. But there's some people who like, not that I don't like you anymore, I just not in love with you anymore.
Yeah.
So we're gonna stay together for these kids, because I can tolerate you. I don't hate you.
You like that word,
You know what I mean?
tolerate.
Yeah, it's a strong word. But I don't hate you enough to say, I got to leave now. I got to get out of this house, you know, but I just feel like we fell out of love.
Okay.
So, you know, let's do what we got to do to make sure our kids are happy and get off to the right foot, and then we
What
move
do you
on.
feel? What do you feel
But
about
then
that?
I would say, then for the evaluation thing, I think it's a great idea, but I wouldn't put a time frame on it and say yearly. I think it should be an ongoing thing, so you don't get to the point where, you know, you've grown differently. If we're doing this constantly and my interests are changing, then you can understand that while
Hey,
it's
give me
changing.
semi-annually.
No, but
Semi-annually.
But the
Hey,
reason,
yearly,
the reason why I
semi-annually.
say a year, right? Because obviously it's synonymous with the anniversary of the year.
Right.
But you also got to give people time to adapt to certain things. If you had, just imagine if you had a monthly evaluation, you would feel like, damn, every 30 days, you know, I don't have solid footing. You know what I'm saying?
You're not even sure
a
what
year is a good
happening
amount
with
of
you.
time. You're
Yeah,
right.
a
Some
year
people
gives
not
you.
even sure what
Yeah,
happened with them.
a year gives you, like, you know, we had this conversation, and then boom, I had 6 to 8 months past that conversation to kind of adjust to it, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Even if you had it every 6 months, 6 months is not too bad, but sometimes it takes a little while to break certain habits. You know what I'm saying?
And then 6 months, that would be just a check-in.
Yeah.
It don't have to be the actual conversation. Remember we discussed 6 months ago, you still on that same stuff. Okay, you know what I mean?
And another
Checking in.
another thing that evaluating that I think we should also consider as well. I'm not a parent. Everyone else in here is a parent, but I would want you to have this mentality when it comes to your relationship. And if you feel like you would be happy that your kid has the same relationship that you have, then that's a good relationship. If you feel like if your kid was in the same relationship that you were in, you would feel bad for your kid, then I feel like, you need to have a real evaluation of that relationship.
It's true.
Because would you want your daughter or your son or
They
your
always say
daughter
that. Do you want your daughter to be with somebody like you? Yeah, I'm a pretty good guy. Now, I just have to tell her if she's going to be with somebody like me, you really need to talk to that guy
Yeah.
and see where his head is at.
Yeah.
Don't take no guessing games.
Yeah.
But, I mean, listen, I may be single, right? But I have dealt with multiple women. Why? It's not because I'm an asshole, even though I can be. It's because they like me, right? Why? Because I'm a good guy overall. I'm just kind of stuck in my ways sometimes.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good stuff.
All right, so the next topic we're going to talk about is pandemic hustles, right? And out of a pandemic or kind of birth your business venture. Okay. So we just want to also think about, like, why you've been sitting during this pandemic, what hustles or ideas you thought about, like, man, if this was there when the pandemic started, it would have made my situation easier. One of the pandemic hustles is not something I did. Mike had informed me about it beforehand, but it really became crucial, is the Instacart, having people shop for you. Because my wife won't step foot in the grocery store. So she's Instacarting like 2 times, 3 times a week sometimes, So the first question, are there businesses or services that could have made your pandemic experience easier? What's up with you?
I could have made it easier. But I was still working. So I didn't have the full pandemic.
Yeah, so you was kind of
experience.
front line.
I was still out there.
Essential.
You wasn't working from home? You're an essential worker?
Yeah, I work at Rikers, so I was still there.
She works for me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So, well, I have 2 jobs, but I was working from home for one, but the other one I was still out there, so it wasn't necessarily that I had the total isolation, but I'm an Instacart. I'll order twice a day.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But I feel like this is why all of these hustles came about, though, because you're sitting there saying, well, what could I do to, or what? But I really didn't have any issues that I was looking for anything else.
I think one of the big things that I saw during the pandemic that kind of like the hustle, that OnlyFans, right? I think the OnlyFans really blew crazy because it was just like, people can't go outside. People want to have that stimulation. It's that online interaction kind of stuff like that. So those are the kind of things like OnlyFans was out there before the pandemic.
That's what I was
but
gonna ask.
but it got so crazy that celebrities started jumping on it. Cardi B, you told me Cardi B?
$8 million a month.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
She's making $8 million a month on her OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. What's she doing on there?
Wait,
Just a
wait,
subscription.
is it the wrong hustle?
yeah, exactly. I just
You got to be getting spicy on OnlyFans, though. They ain't looking for just...
still, what
you
am
don't
I?
mind showing your feet. There's some... You can make a lot of money off the feet.
And speaking of
$8
that,
million a month.
and speaking of that, I wonder, and obviously I don't know anyone to ask, but my mind sometimes go into dark places. Like, how was the hooker / prostitute game during the pandemic? Like, what was their stimulus package? Like, how did they kind of, that's the oldest trade in the book and stuff like that. But I know it had to change that game. You know what I'm saying? Because you were afraid to have people call for you. Never mind having strangers do certain things to you.
They struggled, I'm sure. They had to collect unemployment, too.
But what do you put down to get the unemployment funding? You know what I'm saying?
If you're a hooker, right?
No, but all right. So, what business or service you felt could have made your pandemic experience easier?
Could have made my... I don't really know because I'm also an essential worker, too. So, I was out there, really. There was only like 2, maybe 3 weeks that I actually like. It was like, nah, stay home.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I was out working. You know, I was the Instacart guy who was out there getting it.
Yeah.
So that's one of the great things. It was blowing up big. It was blowing up big.
I did it too.
Oh, you did Instacart too?
I was making $1,000 a week.
Exactly.
Crazy. That's
exactly.
good.
It was big until they start hacking it, and people start stealing batches and all types of stuff. But
Oh man.
yeah, it was that was a great thing because like you said, you knew people were isolated in their homes, didn't want to come out, were afraid to. So if they can find somebody to take care of these things outdoors for them, you know, go ahead. They're willing to pay. You know what I mean?
I think what hustle, and I'm always thinking the dating aspect that I thought about, or what would have been cool for some people if they kind of design some kind of like Zoom dating kind of situation where, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Like a Zoom speed dating. That's the perfect name for speed dating.
Yeah, Zoom, right? But because, right, because it's sort of like your pursuit of finding someone special don't stop because it's a pandemic. You still want to have somebody and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Zoom became so official. Like, I do all of my work meetings on Zoom. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many people will work from home on Zoom, and that's what's kept, you know, the economy going as far as us
Microsoft
corporate
Teams.
people. Microsoft Teams or Blue Jeans is another version of a Zoom kind of situation where it's just like, you know what, but there's the social aspect of it. It's just like, yo, Zoom dating could have been something where someone took that Zoom kind of thing and just like, yo, you know, you meeting
chill
someone.
out because that's still a possibility. That's cool.
And I think that would
Absolutely,
actually,
right
you
now.
know, I think a relationship that started that way might actually be better because now all you have is that person. All you have is to talk to them and listen to them.
Yeah.
And I don't have to
Really
worry
get
about
to know
wearing
them.
these 6-inch heels on a date and my feet hurt. I don't
Yeah.
hear anything you're saying, sir. I just
Yeah.
want to take these shoes off, you know.
Yeah.
I think it might have.
To be honest with you, video, conversing over video, like FaceTiming, stuff like that, I think that is crucial building a relationship, especially when we're living in a time where you can't always be with that person all the time, stuff like that. So I think if someone would have made a cool kind of like, you know, just like how it blew up crazy when DJ D Nice was doing his Zoom DJing and people were just having like parties to kind of stuff like that. Some kind of social aspect. I think that would have been
hustle right there.
yeah. Even the verses, right? The verses really went crazy because of the pandemic. I don't know if there was verses before the pandemic. Were there?
No. They started because of the pandemic. People want to hear good music.
Yeah.
So then,
So I think that was another
Timberland-
hustle that, you know,
Timberland
made
Sweet.
artists kind of be able to have their old music, you know, get burst and people streaming their old music and stuff like that. So I thought that was creative.
It helped them big time because some of the older artists who probably wasn't as popular, now they could do more shows when the pandemic gets a little better.
Shaka
So,
Khan was talking about she's having streaming concerts. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So to me, it's just like, you know, it's tough because we consume so much stuff free streaming to say I'm going to pay to stream watch a concert. But people do it because people have pay-per-view concerts all the time,
Yeah.
or we pay-per-view to watch big boxing events, right?
everything.
So
It's
you
different.
know,
you want to be there for a concert.
concert is kind of like an in-person kind
You know
of
what I'm
thing.
saying?
But to be honest with you, as much as I've been to concerts, I love smaller, more intimate situations. I would rather pay $150 to do like a jazz club intimate where it's probably 50 people to 100 people in the room versus going to Giants, you know, Giant Stadium for Summer Jam, and it's 100,000 people around me, you know what I'm saying, and all the craziness that you deal with in the parking lot and things like that. Seriously, like, you know, you might see some girls busting it over here, someone smashing over here, someone trying to say, yo, I got this gas, you know, weed sell kind of stuff like that, and then people always fighting at those kind of
Yeah, always,
situations.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, so the next question is, do you think cyber dating should be that, you know, this way good for a while? Like, you know, Zoom kind of situation. Like, to be honest with you, I think it should evolve to a situation where everybody has a Zoom. Like, maybe you won't give that person your personal cell phone number, right? Because then they could text you and stuff like that. But Zoom, if you're not on Zoom, you just ignore Zoom kind of stuff like that. Do you think that should be some kind of new way people date? You know, go in these cyber situations where you hop on Zoom, y'all chill, y'all talk, you know what I mean? Y'all kind of date on that. What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea because I think you basically cut the person out pretty pretty sure, because if the person can't hold a conversation, after 2 or 3 Zooms, you're gonna be like, all right, this ain't it.
Right.
Yeah.
We've been
It
talking-
saves you the time.
We've been talking for a good week on the Zoom, and he hasn't once told me what he do. He's being around the bush.
Yeah.
All the goals and aspiration I mentioned.
You got to step up your communication game, right?
He or she is not talking to. That's why I always tell even my guy friends who's single, I'm like, don't ever go on your first date to a movie. What you
that's
going
bad.
What you going to a movie with a girl the first date, because now you wasted 2 hours of your life you can't get back because you can't talk in the movies.
Yeah.
Go straight to dinner, because after the dinner you're gonna know exactly what you want to do with this person. All right, I'm good on this. You understand what I'm saying? So the Zoom
If the
communication-
weather permits, maybe go dinner and walk after that. You know what I'm saying?
But the Zoom situation, I think it's a great idea, especially through a pandemic right now. Because listen, nobody want to waste time right now. So I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. What about you as far as cyber dating and using Zoom and things like that when you're getting to know someone?
I think it's a great idea, like I said before, because it forces you to really get to know the person.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't sustain past the pandemic, if we take those ideals, because it slows it down. Because now, like I said, that we've been talking for a week and you're not saying anything. But if you go on 7 dates, you normally don't do 7 dates in a row. And then there's other distractions. So, we have to talk to the waitress and we have to do this and we have to do that. So I didn't really notice that you have nothing to say.
Yeah.
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 Exactly.
And it's like you said, so many stimuli let you pass the time. But like one-on-one FaceTiming or Zoom dating, stuff like that, is just about us getting to know each other. You know what I'm saying? And it don't necessarily have to be these 2-hour Zooms and stuff like that. Y'all could jump in for 5 minutes straight, talk about each other's day, see what's going on, stuff like that, and they'll be like, all right, it was good talking to you. We'll talk again tomorrow.
But then if you find somebody who you end up talking to for like 45 minutes to an hour, and you're like, I didn't even realize we've been talking so long. That's a bonus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can figure it out that way.
And like I said, those are the things that are sustainable versus just that completely physical stimuli, completely like, man, I can't wait to get in that person's pants and stuff like that,
Using the word sustainable, I'm going to have to use that with my daughter. Okay, because she's 20 years younger than me, and she's like, oh, Mommy, you're not being realistic. Everybody has to have a physical attraction. But, like I said, I could be attracted to someone who is hideous. That makes me laugh. That's what I'm attracted to. He's funny. I can talk to him. I can do this. I can do that. And that's why I said different generations, because my daughter is like, no, if I can't look at you, it's a wrap. It doesn't matter anything.
If I can't look at you.
It's tough. It's just like once you fall in love with a person for all kind of aspects, the attraction morphs, right? Like once someone makes you laugh and feel good and stuff like that, obviously you don't ignore their physicals, but it's sort of like it becomes that's your person. So if they're not big butt, big breasts and stuff like that, but whatever they have, it becomes that connection is so deep. It's deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? And plus, sex is as much as mental as it is physical. You know what I'm saying? When you mentally into that person, stuff like that, just sharing that moment with them becomes bigger than just like, oh man, the way they booty clap or whatever thing that moves you and stuff like that. And I think we have to learn. It takes us, years to get into that space, like you said, to know yourself, to be able to determine that. But I think that's one thing I try to teach the younger people, like, know this person's good for you. Know that this person makes you a better person or just pushes you. A lot of times we chase after something because it's the goal. It's the goal to have that woman on your arm. Or if she said no and she's bad, now I got to conquer that no and make it a yes, kind of stuff like that. But, like, how are you setting yourself up for the long game?
Well, listen, I got to admit to... I don't know if you want to consider that a superficial quality your daughter has or not, but I do need somebody who I feel looks good on my arm. That's, what I mean?
Which is fair. That's fair.
So, but it's not one of the things that's high on the list. It's just...
It's on the list.
It's on the list because, you know what I mean? I don't think we're going to even reach a certain point if I can't even look at you.
Right.
Like you said, if he's ugly... and makes you laugh. It's one thing to be, okay, he's not the sexiest, but he's ugly? Like, come on.
But someone could be ugly and have, like, handsome features or handsome things about them.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I didn't go ahead.
But
Say
sometimes
ugly.
you say that, but sometimes you might like a lot of times, but you got to think about guys. You say that, but you be like, "Damn, that's your baby mother." Whatever, and then you don't realize. That
was terrible.
You like.
She always look like that, boy.
You like when guys have to come to you, like, damn, that's your baby mother, and then your man tell you,
Yo,
he's like,
I think I might square up on someone who said, "Damn, that's your baby mother." Like, yo,
no.
damn, that's your wife.
No,
My G.
the reason why I say that because a lot of the time you be like, damn, that's your baby mother, and then the guy explains to you, yo, at the time that she was, we used to have great conversations. We met on the job. We spent a lot of time together and whatever too, and things happen like that. So sometimes it don't be that she's beautiful, whatever. It just be the person is super dope, and you could look past that. Yeah. Like you said, the laughing quality is big for you. She said the laughing quality is big for her. But a lot of times you'll see dudes you be like, damn, yeah. I seen a lot of fly dudes, and then you see their baby mother, you be like, yo, what happened? He be like, yo, kids, she caught me at a good time with. But I'm just saying, vice versa.
I was vulnerable.
I hear exactly what you're saying, but to me, that is wild, disrespectful, yo.
No, I'm not saying this.
Like that?
No,
You know what I'm
saying? I'm not just saying for men. I'm talking about women too, because women be like, they'll tell the girl like, yeah, that's my baby father, and then the homegirl be like, that's your baby father? But you didn't realize that he was a good, at the time, he was funny. He had a lot of charisma. Like, he did stuff where you didn't even look at him to say, like, damn, he do look like, he is ugly. But you don't see that because he had so much great quality. Sometimes person have so much great. Right now, if you found a girl, right, if she wasn't beautiful, whatever, but she had all the great qualities and she understood you and she had a nice body, you would mess with her right now.
Oh,
because
you throw that in there.
No, I'm saying
that nice body at the end.
not even okay, but listen, because she's gonna give you your sanity, and she got all the things that you like, and sometimes you could look past that. You never probably been in that situation
I'm
yet.
still trying to get rid of that superficial nature because I see what you're saying.
No,
and
I'm
I do
just
aspire to be at that level, but
I don't think I could ever tell
time,
somebody,
I'll be
"Damn,
like,
that's your baby." I'm still stuck on that. Yo. That's hurtful.
Dudes do that all the time.
That's hurtful.
Like,
I would have to fake it. I'd be like, "No, she seems like she's cool." If you hear me say, "I seen a picture of the person you dating," and I said she seemed like she's cool, that means she don't look that good, B. You know what I'm saying? But to say, "Damn, that's your baby mother," that's harsh, yo.
I'm just speaking from the perspective of that, you know.
Yeah. No, I got what you're saying. So the last thing on the pandemic is, do you think virtual parties or constant comedy shows should be something that you would pay for? Right, because it's tough. It's tough, right? Because we still in New York, like New York has soft open, right? Like you can't really go inside a restaurant that's full. They do on the side of the street curb eating and stuff like that. Comedy clubs, I don't even think are open. You know what I'm saying? Broadway's not open till March or April, something like that. So, can you see yourself paying to go into a virtual party or paying to watch a virtual comedy show or virtual concert?
It's funny that we're talking about this now because I just had a discussion. Shout out to my friend Dawn Marie. She's in an organization or sisterhood, sorority or what have you.
She's a Zeta, right?
I think so. So the Blues.
Yeah, Zeta Phi Beta.
They're having a virtual Halloween party or something like that. So she was telling me about it. And I'm like, yo, I ain't paying for this. I was like, wait, you talking about because she said something about drinks and mixology. So I was like, oh, I thought it was like an actual party. I was like, what's somebody going to be showing me how they pour the drinks on the computer? How am I going to drink that drink?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, if you're going to, I'll donate. You know what I mean? If that's what it is. But I can't see myself really attending a virtual party. I've got to stare at the computer and dance. And I'm like,
I could see the comedy thing where it worked, but the virtual party, like say Halloween party, I don't see it working.
And you got to pay. Mm-hmm. I have to stand online too at my computer. Like I'm at the club. Yo, you gonna let
somebody got to let you in. You know how some Zooms are private and you got to get access to come in, kind of.
Yeah, like.
So, like you said, the comedy shows I could do it. Concert to me, maybe a comedy show. You know, I could pay the stream and stuff like that. Especially if I want to really support the artist, right? Because one thing about the pandemic, you realize, right? So many people make their money so many different ways, right? Like, you know, like my wife had to put me in her head, like if I do go pick up food and stuff like that, sometimes we'll still tip as if we went and sat down in a restaurant, because the people in those restaurants are not getting tips. It's not like they say it's a pandemic, we're going to raise their pay. They still, you know what I'm saying? So it's still a struggle. So sometimes I got to think about that like, oh, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So I guess like if there's a artist who's really on the rise and they're doing something like that, I would pay to see it because I really want to support their artist and I want to sustain their craft. Virtual party, I wasn't really a big party person anyway, but to virtually, enter, like, what are they charging me for this virtual party? Yeah. If it's anything over $5, I'm like, nah.
I would have paid, not too much, but I would have paid for some of the versus battles. Honestly.
Oh no, I would
paid.
honestly, I would have paid up to $100 for the versus battle.
Yeah,
because I'm into.
See, that's a baller.
No, it's not about being baller. When I'm into something,
I'd have paid $100 if they sent a $50 bottle to my house while I was watching the versus.
Honestly, when I'm into something,
exclusive access.
I don't care how much, I always say like going to a good restaurant. I don't really ever care about how much I pay for the food because it's something I enjoy to do. I like to eat and the experience or whatever. And then I don't know what it's about restaurant. I build a good rapport with management with the restaurants too, and I could be like, all right, I'm coming back. I feel good for 2-3 hours. The versus battles, I'd have paid up to $100, like it was pay-per-view, because I watch all of them. Yeah. And I enjoy
that Beanie Man, Bounty Killer one.
That Rick Ross and 2 Chainz was my devil. Rick Ross.
That was your favorite one?
I like when Rick Ross, he brought out the girl. She started giving him a side. 2 Chainz was so afraid of how ill Rick Ross was. He's like, oh man, you bringing out this?
Nah, I like the DMX and Snoop one.
That one was good.
What about you, Miss Harvey? Like, would you pay for a concert or a virtual party?
I heard about doing Jill Scott was good too. I watched that one too.
Probably not the virtual party because I'm not really that big of a partier, but I've had virtual parties with my friends. We had girls' night and this and that, and it was actually like enough.
It was cool. I had a virtual reunion for college. Like, we didn't get to have homecoming because of stuff like that, so they did like a virtual kind of reunion, and it was cool. It was cool. But
I mean, I've had some comedy shows that I've seen, but during the pandemic, they were doing it for free. Yeah. But I would probably have paid.
Okay. So I want to do this last topic real quick. We have like 5 minutes, so I hate to rush us, but I think it's important to talk about it. It's protecting your personal space, right? Because I think a lot of times we lose ourselves where it's just like to make other people happy and to sustain other people, we lose our personal space or what's private to us. We kind of have to make ourselves open, especially celebrities, right? Like, once you become a celebrity, people feel like they have every right into your personal business. Like, earlier, I was just like, is Cardi B and Offset back together? It's not my damn business. But they live in the public, so you kind of become part of it. Like,
shout out to Cardi for those nudes being leaked. Okay.
I heard she has salami nipples, but I didn't see it. Anyway,
areolas,
yeah. But I say that to say that was a sidebar. But I say that
$8 million a month for OnlyFans. So
yeah.
She's showing them
all the time, right?
But so I say that to say, it's important to protect your personal space. Why is it so important to protect your personal space?
Well, literal personal space because I want to live, but just because you need to have something for yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you lose your sanity. And then you want to isolate all the time, and then we have problems. But you have to do that for your own personal self. I shouldn't have to tell you the world everything. And I don't really I follow celebrity stuff, but I think it's wrong for people to be in their business like that. Yes, I understand. I paid for you to make this music, but I don't have a right to know your relationship with your mother. It's too much. We want too much.
What about you, Cliff? Why is it important to protect your personal space?
Because you, like she said, you need something for yourself, right? So, because if you're in the public eye, or you're just talking about people who celebrities or just regular relationship, it's important to have your personal space in anyone. Because I feel like on a day-to-day process, it's going to help you be a better person. Yeah. When you have your own, certain things. There's certain things I need to do just for myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whether I want to discuss it or not, I just need to. I got to get it done for myself, and everybody should have that. Because. All your ideas don't need to be shared, and all your, So I definitely feel with.
What about you, Mike?
I think it's definitely very important protecting your personal space. But when it comes to the celebrities, I think it's a little different because I think if you're trying to make a profit for me by sharing things that you choose to share, right? You pick and choose what you choose to share as far as how inside your life. and you giving me more as opposed to just say your music or your acting ability or whatever, then you can't then say, well, now, listen, I ain't sharing that with you.
But
You know
my
what I mean? You
heartache
can't
shouldn't
pick
be
and
part of your
choose, bro.
entertainment.
If your love was a part of my entertainment, then your heartache is too. Like if you want to share, oh, me and so we're getting married and look at us together and da. Then when that shit breaks apart, I want to know about it too. I want to see the downfall too.
I don't agree.
That's my thing. Don't share the up if you ain't gonna willing to share the down.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
But a lot of people
That's
are
what I'm
shit
saying.
up. You know,
I think it's important for you to have your personal space, right? Because you're not good for nobody or towards anybody unless you're good. I can't be a good brother or a good friend to anybody if I'm not taking care of myself, right? Because it's just like, I have to be holistic and have personal. And I think that's a big thing that married people struggle with, right? The thin line between having secrets and having a personal life. Like I always, when my wife wants to go away to go visit her family, because her family doesn't live as close as my family do, I always say, go spend the weekend. She's like, nah, I just want to go for a couple of hours, come back. I always tell her, go spend the weekend, not because I need this free time, but it's just like, yo, you need to have that holistic experience to be you. You're not just Morvis's wife. You're still your individual self. And she respects me having my individual self, the podcasting time, the go spending time with family. And I feel like having that personal space, being good in your personal space allows you to be so much more otherwise. And I think a lot of times we lose sight of that because to be in the ultimate couple, you got to do everything together. No, you got to have the best thing I did for my relationship, and I say this consistently during the podcast, is kind of concentrating on myself, finding out what makes me happy, what makes me good. Because when you just focus on pleasing the person, sometimes you be like, damn, I bust my ass to make this person happy, and they still not happy. Then that drives you nuts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so second question is, why do we sometimes sacrifice our own personal well-being to make others happy?
Well, it's something I personally struggle with, so I'm just a nurturer, so I'll forget about myself to make sure the people around me are okay.
Yeah, but if you're not good, then you're selling yourself short.
My thing always is I'm always filling up everybody's cup, but I'm empty now.
But I
So
think
when
you
I
get a little
realized
bit
that-
of, don't you get a little bit of substance from doing that?
I do.
You
but
sacrifice with yourself.
everybody needs. I need a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there's no one in my circle that's
Putting that
saying,
into
okay,
your cup.
I'm helping you right now, and then Mr. B come over and he's like, oh, you know what, Harvey, I need. If I don't have anyone doing that, then I need to take time to do it for myself, and it's a struggle for me.
So, Cliff, why do we sometimes sacrifice our own personal well-being to make others happy?
I think I'm just I'm just a general tough person. So sometimes I'll do stuff for people. I do a lot of stuff for people that they won't do for me. And
Yeah,
I'm not.
I feel like that.
That's always been the story when it came for everything. But I'm not looking for the payback or what you did for me, whatever. To me, generally, even when I'm not good, you're not really gonna know because I'm just the type of person that I'll take care of what I need to take care of. I want to make sure that the people I care about, they good. Because I always figure I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna figure it out.
What
At the
about you?
I
time.
agree. It's along the same lines. I like to be able to, do things for people. I like to be able to be relied on for one, right? So if I can do something to help a friend, family member, whoever it is, I get something out of that.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I may be doing something for somebody else, but it pleases me to be able to put a smile on their face and help them out. And I don't look for nothing back or whatever. But I also understand it's been times where you want to get that reciprocated. And it took a while for me to realize not everybody's going to do for you like you do for them.
Yeah, I
And
struggled with that
sometimes,
for a while.
especially when it's someone real close to you, it messes with you. It's like, damn. You wanna do
I
that
struggled
me?
for a
You know
while
what
to
I'm
be
saying?
like, yo, I know I would do that for that person and they won't do it for me. But it's sort of like spiritual. Like, yo, if you do things expecting reciprocation, you're going to be disappointed. You'll never get that fulfillment from it. I just love doing stuff for people. Even if I know that, maybe I'm not getting there, I always feel like, the blessing is helping people. That's what the blessing is. You know what I'm saying? And if you learn to tolerate that, you'll be good. So last question, is it okay to keep a personal identity separate from your significant other?
Personal
What do
identity.
you mean?
Just like, like...
You got to hold up a name.
No. So
life.
like, I don't subscribe to I'm just Marvin Nancy's husband. You know what I'm saying? I'm Marvin's individual. I do certain things by myself that she doesn't partake in. Like, you know, your own identity. I guess the term identity is what make it, you know, sounds funny, but like your own
individualism.
individuality.
I think because when you get into a marriage or a relationship, y'all are no longer seen as
You're a
one.
union, right?
Yeah.
But you still need to
You
do
and
Mike,
so-and-so.
single
You
Mike
and
things,
so-and-so.
single Marvin's things. You know what I'm saying? So
So the answer would be yes in that regard, because you never want to be so enthralled and set in a relationship to where if that falls apart, you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to be able to say, okay, this is us, but I also have, you know, my own.
And on a side note,
personality.
that's why a lot of times with these divorces, you're like, the man, quote unquote, the man was this, you know, wealthy, lucrative person, and you had a housewife, and then the housewife gets half, and people are losing their mind. It's just like, yo, you don't know how much that woman put herself on the back burner for foregoing her dreams and things of that nature to help build that man up. That's the side we don't see because we just look at the numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I don't know.
Yeah, but
That's a whole
It's a whole
nother-
nother
we
show.
don't put ourselves in that
you're right,
situation.
you're
But
right.
you know, sometimes it's also the
He could be
situation
the
where,
man too. You know?
yeah.
sacrifice.
So is it okay to keep us separate?
I think it's important. God, good.
I was gonna say definitely, because without it, like you said, when you lose yourself, then that's it.
Yeah,
And I think it makes the relationship better.
yeah,
I think it's very important because it's certain things like my wife is in a sorority and stuff, whatever. I don't go to none of her events. I don't participate in none of it and whatever. So it's
you
not.
say that with such a bad tone.
No, it's not really my thing. But certain things that's really important, like they do called friends and me's or things like a Thanksgiving potluck, whatever. I'll go to those. So I'm like, I can't miss that. But I've never been in the fraternity sorority thing. Period. But that's her thing. She go to conferences and whatever too. Boom. And my thing is, if I got to do certain guy trips or do certain things, that's my thing. She got to respect that. I think it helps the relationship grow also to respect that. I got your own stuff. If you two rely on this person of doing everything with the person, you're not gonna be able to build your own foundation.
Yeah,
And you lose yourself.
and
Yeah.
it's important to have an individual brand versus your family brand, your friend brand, and stuff like that. You have to be your individual self so that you know you have an anchor, something that you can tie to, so you could be happy, and then the happiness can spread to other people. When your happiness depends on someone else, they have the control when you're happy or not. You know what I'm saying? So that's the end of the show. We
Oh, I
gonna
wanted to say
wrap
one
up.
thing I forgot. I'm sorry if any of your listeners want to order. I have a coupon code FriendZone, 15% off.
Nice. So
Okay.
before we wrap up,
Yeah.
let them know again the website, how they could reach out to you and things like that, and also let them know about the coupon code, friends.
Okay, so I'm going to give you just the website because that's where the coupon code will work. It won't work anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's www.sparklesisters, SISTASLLC.com. And the coupon code, 15% off all purchases, is FriendZone.
Nice.
That's nice. Appreciate it.
You want to give a shout out before we head out?
Well, I shout out all of our people doing things themselves. I got here a Protected by Angels hat. This is from my bro Renee.
I have one
He
too
got
in
these
black.
just, this is so dope.
He just do the hats.
This is his hat line. He also has hoodies now.
He do the
Protected
sweatsuits.
by Angels. I don't know about sweatsuits, but he got the hoodie.
Oh no, I'm looking for the suit.
You looking for the whole suit?
Yeah, I'm looking for
All right,
the
I'm gonna have
suit,
to tell him to work on that. But
Hat
yeah,
is
go
fire,
check
though.
him out. Protected by Angels. With MJ Creations. If you're looking for any pastries, cakes, cupcakes, party ideas, that's my homegirl Mary. She got that line. What is it? Sense. Oh my God, I can't remember the name right now. It's my homegirl Nicole. She's selling basically wax, fragrances.
Okay.
I think it's Scents by Angel or something like that. But yeah, that's all my shout outs for now. Just support our people, you know.
No, shout out to just everybody living. You know, 'cause we're going through some rough times right now, 2022. Just to support one person, help somebody out, and you know, just take it day by day because tomorrow's not promised. Shout out to everybody.
Shout out to Miss Harvey for coming through, being a guest. Go support Sparkle Sisters LLC. shout out everyone. Go out and vote. We need you to vote.
Vote.
Don't think, oh,
2
I'm
weeks
in a
left,
blue
y'all.
state, so my vote don't count. No, because you need to vote for president and then the other elections as well.
Yes.
The other questions, they had a cannabis question. They had a question about property tax for veterans. They had another question about if the census doesn't come in time, do you agree to? Am I violating any laws by saying what was on the ballot? I don't know. Don't sue me. But it's important to vote because your answers, your representation means so much. I also want to give a special shout out to Greedy Gut with the little butt. Tomorrow's her birthday, so happy birthday, Greedy Gut.
Happy birthday.
She's always going to be part of the Views from the Friend Zone family, even when she doesn't come on to the show. She also does her candle thing sent by Amanda Marie, so, go out and support that. And just vote, love each other, Black Lives Matter, and be safe. We peace.
Views.
We out.
Views from the friend zone, it's your time. We're giving you real talk, so stay on your grind. We just trying to laugh and have a good time. We dropping the views so that all our people can shine. Views from the friend zone, it's your time. We're giving you real talk.